As a parent, watching your baby grow and develop is one of the most fascinating and rewarding experiences. But with so much information out there, it's easy to get so overwhelmed and to feel exhausted and not know where to turn. Questions come in like, is your child hitting milestones on time? Have they done it in the right order? Is your baby crawling? Or one that I get often is like, is she walking yet? Maybe ask a question like, what is something that she's doing awesome right now, right? Milestones can be so overwhelming for so many parents. The truth is, while timing can vary greatly from one child to another, and we cannot forget that, or else we will literally get into our mom and dad brains of like, what is wrong? Why hasn't she crawled in, this time? It's so confusing, guys. But what we have to remember is that they need to be developing in the right sequence. So let's walk through the key milestones from birth to 24 months. Then we're going to explain why the sequence matters most. And then we're going to help everyone understand when it's time to actually seek that additional support and the signs that we need to look for. So I want to read off these milestones here. So milestones are usually set from 0 to 12 weeks. Then we go 3 to 6 months. It's funny because you'll talk to parents, or me as a first-time mom too. I was like, okay, this is very odd how it's weeks to 12 weeks, and then we just switch to months. And then you will always say how old your baby is within months, like 24 months. And then I think we start to say 3, 4, 5, 6. But that is just such a funny little thing that we go through. But it's so important because if I say my daughter's 1 and you say your daughter's 1, but one's 12 months and one's 18 months, the development is so different. So it's 0 to 12 weeks, then 3 to 6 months. Then we have the 6 to 9 months, the 9 to 12 months, 12 to 18 months. They also start to spread out, and then 18 to 24 months. So I want to read off what the norm is for these milestones. So in 0 to 12 weeks, we're going to have those reflexes. This is where it's just all your baby needs to focus on is eating, sleeping, and pooping. So some of the reflexes are that rooting reflex, the sucking reflex. How are they eating? Are they grasping? Every baby loves to just hold on, and it's the sweetest thing to your finger. So are they doing that? Or that Moro reflex, the startle reflex. A lot of the times when we swaddle, they're not using that reflex, and we want them to use that. So that's 0 to 12 weeks where they're starting to use all of those. Their head control, they start to begin to lift that head a little bit, or be able to, when they're on their tummy, they're able to kind of flex that head or extend that head and look around. It's fascinating how much they learn. 3 to 6 months is really time for that strengthening and that coordination. So we're going to see the social smiles where they're starting to smile. They're starting to pick up cues. When someone smiles at them, they smile back. They will start to roll over. Then we have where they start to hold, or like they shake their rattles. And then we have where they're starting to coo or make little gurgling noises, and it's just so cute. 6 to 9 months is where that mobility starts to kick in. They're starting to explore different things. So we have where they're sitting up, they're crawling, which is so important, and that's where the order matters most. And all of these, but mainly the order really matters. From sitting up to crawling, we want them to crawl before they walk, or else we start to see the neurological soft signs of things that are going a little bit array. We will also see them start to have that object permanence, where they're starting to see, okay, wait, you took that away, but I think it's still there, and now you're showing me again. It's just fascinating what they go through. They start to respond to their name and learn their name, which is so fun. 9 to 12 months, they're starting to pull the stand. They're starting to cruise a little bit. They start to say their mama or dada. If you're a mom, I'm sorry if they said dada first, and vice versa. That'll happen. And then 12 to 18 months, we're going to start to see that walking. They're using those simple words. They're starting to, sign of like the more. They're just really starting to understand and explore everything. Then 18 to 24 months, they start to run. They're building up their vocabulary. They have their imaginative play. They're starting to interact with other children, things around them. So it's so fascinating what babies go through. And in the first 3 years of life, it's like the most development we will ever see, mainly in the first year. All of the neurons in their brain are starting to create pathways. It really is so incredibly fascinating. But let's not hang on. I did say 0 to 12 months, weeks. 3 to 6 months. But let's not focus on that. More importantly, we want to focus on why the sequence matters most. So every child develops at their own pace. The order in which they achieve these milestones is critical. For example, I just said this, but I want it to set in stone of like crawling before walking is so essential because the cross pattern helps both sides of the brain start to communicate with one another. So fascinating. But this is essential for healthy nervous system development. And as we know, the nervous system controls everything in the entire body. So you want your child's nervous system to be perfectly developed. But these thoughts start to form and turn into action, such as seeing a toy and reaching for it or crawling across the room. But skipping steps or reaching milestones out of sequence can indicate underlying issues that might need attention from a PX doctor in order to find the root cause. It's less important for your baby to walk at 9 months or 15 months or whatever it may be, but it is totally crucial that they first develop the necessary skills in order. So we have that head control, then they're going to sit up, then they're going to cross crawl pattern or crawling, and then they start walking. This progression ensures that their nervous system and neuromuscular system as well develop in a coordinated way, building the strong foundation for future skills and development. So as a parent, sometimes we get a gut feeling that something is off. For most of us, we have asked our traditional pediatrician and have ended up with the common answer that we always hear, just wait and see, or don't worry, they'll grow out of it. Well, parents, not only do us at PWC truly listen to you, but we can also look way deeper into possible neurodevelopmental challenges than a conventional pediatrician can. So if you ever feel that something isn't quite right, whether it's a delay in milestones, unusual behavior, or even struggling with those simple things that we talked about of eating, sleeping, and pooping, those are the foundations that we need. It's important to trust that gut and don't stop until you find the hope, answers, and help that you've been searching for. Often, these foundational aspects are key indicators of how well your baby's nervous system is functioning. So if they're having trouble eating, sleeping, and pooping, we need to know about it. As PX docs and at PWC, our doctors are very trained in this. We focus on the health of your baby's nervous system, understanding that when the basics such as eating, sleeping, and pooping are off track, or when they're on track, let's talk about that, other milestones will tend to follow naturally. If you're concerned about your baby's development, we're totally here to help. The best way to ensure that your baby's nervous system is functioning optimally and that your baby is hitting those milestones in the correct sequence and is on track, as we say, is through neurological insight scans. So we do 3 of them at our office. This advanced assessment allows us to pinpoint exactly where that stress and tension may be impacting your baby's development. And then we provide that clear path forward to support their growth. So at PWC, we have 3 scans, but on babies and toddlers, we run 2 of them. We run the neurothermal, and then we run heart rate variability, which is very popular right now. You may have heard of it. With babies, we usually see that they will tend to be uncomfortable or they may seem colicky, and we can see that on the scan. So we'll show you on the scans. It's so fascinating to look at these, but this scan will usually show significant subluxation or stress within the nervous system and neurological dysfunction in that upper neck and brainstem region, which that houses and protects the vagus nerve, which will calm your baby. It also connects to the gut for pooping. It does so many amazing things. And other key infant health functions. It also controls sleeping, soothing, latching, swallowing, head and neck movement, drainage. So if you're having ear infection issues, it also is up there too, and so forth. So the original trigger of the neurological dysfunction that we see in our office is physical trauma and injury to those nerves and muscles. This usually happens through birth intervention and trauma within that birth story that we see. Our docs will dive into reading scans with details that match. You'll start to see that it matches your pregnancy and birth history along with your child's story, because these scans help get down to the root cause of why babies aren't always on track and are struggling neurologically. So once our team of docs has this information, we will then build your child a customized and personalized care plan. Yes, it is tailored to their exact developmental needs. No more guessing, no more one-size-fits-all approach, and absolutely no more they'll grow out of it or let's wait and see. Then the second scan that we do is the heart rate variability one. This takes 3 minutes. It's a little ear clip on your baby. They cannot even feel it. We do a lot when the baby's breastfeeding or when the baby's just sleeping, doesn't even know that ear clip is there. It measures their overall health and how well they are adapting to their new life on Earth, right? Including the stressors that may experience, such as milestones, development, growth spurts. What else? Learning how to eat solids, sleeping through the night, digestive struggles, and so much more, as literally everything is brand new, right? They're brand new to this earth. They don't know what's going on. They have to figure everything out. So at PWC, we ideally want to see babies in the green zone. You guys can look up our insight scans on pxdocs.com and you will see a picture of this, but we want to see if they're in the green zone in midline. So the baby we were talking about earlier, who's colicky, we will see that they've been using a lot of energy to get through stress, to get through reaching those milestones, and they're not adapting to their new life as well as they should be. This can drag down or slow down the progress of developmental milestones or even the sequence that they occur in. Right, exactly what we're talking about. So HRV, this scan also shows our doctors that there is something more going on in the nervous system. But the good news is that it also shows us answers and that we're able to help. So by tracking HRV, we can see how your child is improving throughout their customized care plan and make sure we are taking the necessary steps to help. So if you're ready to see your baby's neurological scans, then let's get them scheduled for a neurological insight scan at PWC today and take the first steps in giving your baby the best start in life.